Nothing in this kitchen was learned overnight. In this video, I just want to invite you into my kitchen and just take you along for a real day of cooking from scratch. In this video, I am going to just be filling in the gaps in our pantry, baking our everyday loaves of bread, making some chicken bone broth, some blueberry muffins that I made with fresh mulled flour corn.
I'm gonna cut this one for you.
Okay.
Look at Robsy's. I gave him
Okay, one.
a treat.
You think so?
Yeah. What's this? The little pieces.
Then we're gonna cut up an onion. And one of my absolute favorite, probably because it's one of my childhood recipes, of a chuck roast with a bone-in crock pot meal. So welcome to an ordinary daily rhythm of how I feed my family. Today I want to talk about something very specific, and this came off of a post I saw on social media where this mom, who is very similar to my niche of cooking from scratch, farm to fresh tables idea, and in this content she was saying how we shouldn't compare where we are at to somebody who is 10 years behind us. And it really made me start to think about my own journey and wanting to share all the skills I have learned, how I deeply desire to help busy moms to cook from scratch for their families for better nutrition. And it just really resonated with me for the past couple days because that is so true. I'm about 10 years in, basically, of what she's talking about, of all of these skills I have obtained over the years. And I just want to talk about it. I want to encourage you. I want to give you some insight, and I just want to uplift you if that is where you are at. So let's start 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I was 20. I still was not married just yet. We got married when we were 21 and had our first child at 22. But my now husband, then boyfriend, we were very interested in the idea of organic foods, and we had moved where we are now, which is very different from South Florida. And it really just set us up to start the way that we are. I think just moving from Florida to more country like it is up here, that is what really has gotten the ball rolling. And we became highly interested in the way that people live around here, canning their own foods, growing gardens, just very family oriented. And people around here are just so friendly and so nice. Anytime my family comes to visit, they are just like, wow, this is so different, and they just feel like it is truly a breath of fresh air. And I 100% agree. Whenever we go into a big city or something, I'm just so ready to come back home. But that's where this kind of all started. I remember we would go to this local produce stand place, and they would have raw goat's milk. And it's funny because now we only drink raw milk, but back then I was like so nervous, like, oh, this is gonna like make you sick or something, because that's just kind of like how I grew up. Like, eggs will give you salmonella and all of those things. I definitely have a different view of those things now, but we were already switching a lot of things to more organic, USDA organic when we would go grocery shopping, or we were intentionally buying other products or not buying products in general. A little fun fact, my husband and I have never eaten McDonald's together. We've never eaten Taco Bell together. We've never eaten very many fast foods together at all in the 12 years we have been together, which I find just quite funny. You know, my kids have never even had those kinds of things, but I have always loved to bake. I've always been very interested in cooking, and I always wanted to go to culinary school because it was just something I truly enjoyed doing. And I feel like that is such a gift that God gave me that I just didn't understand at that time, of where I am now is what God was cultivating back when I was, before I was even a Christian and when I was so young. And as the years have gone on, I have just added on top of the skills that I had. So I kind of came in already knowing how to bake, and then my mother-in-law would teach me like how to cook a whole chicken. It's something I'd never done before, and actually the first time I ever did it, I cooked it upside down, and I was so proud of myself. Like, look at this chicken. My mother-in-law was so sweet. She's like, that's so great, but I think it's upside down. And it was just such a funny moment.
I did it hard.
Nice.
Can you do it hard?
Yep. But adding on to these skills, they take time, they take effort. And I feel like what I see so much on social media, or even just like friends that I have that are interested in this, is time and time again, people think it's unattainable, or it's so far in the distance, or people just end up giving up so soon because they feel maybe a lot of tension and a lot of pushback. But I want to sit here and encourage you that it is so worth it. And if it's something that you're actually interested in, it is so rewarding. If it's something that you are really interested in and you see the benefit or want to see a benefit, and you actually take the time and the effort, you will reap what you sow. You will have better health. You will have more confidence in the kitchen. And these things just take time. And I feel like I see a lot of people trying to do a lot of things at one time. But let me just break it down for you how I started. So when I first became a mom, obviously everything changed, right? You have this beautiful, precious gift that God has given to you, and your mommy instincts just kick in, and you want the best for your child, and you as a mother want to do the best that you possibly can. And that is where I was at with my oldest child. When she started eating solids, that is when I really started to look at what was in ingredients. Now, mind you, I was already very in tune and looking at ingredients because we were shopping for USDA organic. I'm going to come back to this here in a second. But that's when I started making, her own foods. And I was just kind of back and forth with it. And then I soon had a second child. And that's when I started understanding that there was a lot of lead in baby foods. And then there was all these different ingredients in baby's foods. And then plastic really started to, come out of not being good for our health. And then really what hit the wall was my own health postpartum. And I just really had a hard time with my gut. I had leaky gut, and I had to, fix that. And all of a sudden I was having allergies. I suddenly developed an allergy to aloe, which is absolutely crazy because I grew up in South Florida. I'm very fair skinned, and I've always used aloe. And all of a sudden, after I have my son, I put it on my face after a sunburn, and it is like a chemical burn on my face. And not even just that, but also I was all of a sudden getting like an itchy mouth from peanut butter, and it just was all of these things that were just out of nowhere and things I have never dealt with before. We're gonna let this cool overnight to get it really nice and cooled down, and I have yet to can my bone broth, but I'm going to show you what I usually put it in. I have these silicone little trays, and they do have lids to go on top. These are 8 ounces each. So what I like to do is I like to freeze it, and then whenever I need it, I will just pop it out of the freezer and just put it into whatever it is that I'm cooking. So that is where I really started to hone in on what is in our food, how can I replace certain items, completely giving up other items. And I want to come back to this USDA organic. Now, I am a strong believer in that it is better than non-organic, but I feel like over the years it's just gotten almost just as bad, or at least this is just kind of my opinion in the way that I like my family to eat. But I am seeing so much where organic foods, the ingredients are just not good. I don't know if I just didn't understand back then or if it really has changed over the past 10 years. Probably a little bit of both. My biggest thing is these gums. They are literally in everything. Things you would never think that gums are in it. And I just don't understand, like ice cream. The only organic ice cream that is local to my grocery store has tons and tons of gums in it. I don't even buy it. I buy a non-organic ice cream that literally just has cream, sugar, vanilla, and maybe like cocoa powder if it's chocolate or something. But I don't even buy any of those other ice creams that have like cookie dough or cookies in it or even mint chocolate chip. But thankfully I have an ice cream maker coming on the way. That's when I discovered fresh milled flour because I was gluten-free for 5 years and it still felt horrible. And in those times of when I did go gluten-free, I basically just traded gluten-free products for gluten, and that was horrible. It's like I traded these symptoms for these symptoms, and I just really think that a lot of it has to come down with the way that we're processing foods. We're processing them way too much, and the shelf-stable foods are sitting for a very long time, which obviously makes them shelf-stable with a highly processing, and I feel like it's just this vicious cycle. Now, I'm not saying this and trying to scare anybody or trying to push you into this idea or make you think that you need to cook like me or think like me, but my whole point is to get you to understand that this is something that has happened over time. And I know when we're first looking in, it can be very overwhelming. It was kind of like that for me at first because I wanted to change so many things. But once I just slowed down and thought, okay, what's important now? Then that's where these skills have slowly developed. I started making bread way before fresh milled flour. So then I just switched it over to fresh milled flour. And then I discovered when I told you about when I was going through leaky gut and how to soothe my gut lining. And that's when I learned about bone broth. That's when I started making my own bone broth. My preferred is chicken, but beef is rich in flavor too. I personally am not somebody who loves these highly processed bone broth powders. I have one from Ancient Nutrition by Dr. Josh. I've tried it. It always just doesn't sit well with me, not like fresh bone broth that I make right here at home. But then that's when I started to really dive into replacing snacks and making my kids their birthday cakes. It's something I enjoyed doing well before, but now I do it for both because I enjoy doing it. It's fun and it's a lot more nutritious for my family. I don't have to worry about dyes. That was a big one. And I really think just having children in general just really makes you think about these things and their development and what is going to work for them and not against them as they are in these years of just development. And the health of our bodies as adults. We can age beautifully if we are mindful of the things that we put in and on our bodies. So here you are seeing me make some fresh milled flour, einkorn, blueberry muffins. My kids absolutely devour these muffins. They take a little bit of an extra step by whipping those eggs, but I feel like that's what gives it that beautiful, silky, soft, so delicious muffins. I don't have muffin pans, so they're basically just like cupcake size, but this is such an easy recipe. I just whip those eggs and then I will usually use a yogurt, but my kids have been eating so much yogurt this winter and that's perfectly fine with me because I enjoy making it and it's so super easy to make. I had some milk kefir in the fridge, so I just substituted it for that, and then I didn't have enough, so I actually added in some sour cream. And then you just rotate between liquids and flour. That's another thing, is when you're developing these skills, you are going to understand how to replace certain things. Just like here, you see me mixing these blueberries. If you have ever made blueberry muffins, whether they are frozen, it's usually when they're frozen, and they turn your batter purple or like bluish color and you just aren't really fond of that, one thing you can do is take a little bit of flour, mix it in with those blueberries, get them all nicely coated. I promise this should not mess up your batter if your batter has the right hydration levels. And then you have a beautiful uniform color of blueberry muffins. But over the years, you are going to learn these skills, usually by making mistakes. Yes, I make mistakes all the time. And even recipes I do time and time again, just as a busy mom, we might just have an off day and I'm like, oh, Kaylee, that was so simple. And we are here again, just making this mistake, and that's okay. I have never made something that was beyond edible for my family. You can always turn it into something else, whether if it's a bread, you can make croutons, or you could do breadcrumbs. Whatever it is, you more than likely can turn it into something. And that's why I strongly believe in stocking your pantry. It is just such a game changer of just having so many things stocked well. Well, friends, wherever it is that you are on your journey, I hope you found this encouraging and maybe can take one or two things away from this and apply it to your kitchen. Just remember, everybody else is on a journey too, and you might be looking at somebody who is about 10 years ahead of you, or maybe even just a year ahead of you. Find those skills, look at your everyday rhythms, see what you can change that can work for your family, work for your kitchen, and apply them and adjust accordingly. Every season is going to bring different things. What I was like, 4 or 5 years ago as a mom is so different now, having the ages of children that I have now with homeschooling and all of those things. I am so thankful that you are here, and if you made it this far into the video, I just want to say thank you for watching, and I hope I will catch you in the next video.